In today's video, we're going to be creating this Fashion Studio hero section design. So let's get started. First, what we're going to do is insert a frame. So I'm just going to click on F and I'm going to insert a desktop frame. Next is reduce the height to 810. Let's add layout guide. So I'm just going to click on this and add the layout guide. I'm going to make these columns. Let's make the count of columns 12, the margin 120. And I'm going to close this. Next, let's create our logo. So the text for our logo is going to be great vibes. We're going to go through each one of these as we go through the video, and they will also be in the description below. The font is great vibes, weight is regular, size is 28, line height is 36. So I'm just going to grab a copy of this and I'm going to bring it into my frame. And I'm going to type in the name of our studio, which is Threadlight Studio. And that's it for our studio name. Next, let's bring in the text for our header. I'm just going to use Alt to bring it in. Let's take a look at it. The typography, the font name is Ibarra Real Nova. The weight is regular, size is 16, and the line height is 24. I'm just going to, let me reduce the text, so just make it slightly shorter, and Shift A for an auto layout. Left and right padding is going to be 15, and the top and bottom padding is going to be 5. Next, we're going to create 5 copies of this so that we'll have 6 items here, and we'll have one extra call to action button on this side. So the first header content is going to be home, the next is going to be about, third is going to be services, fourth we're going to make portfolio, next is going to be journal, and finally we have contacts. And I'm going to select all of these and make it an auto layout, and gap is going to be 10. Next, for this other button, we're going to make it book a session, and we have these 3 items. So I'm just going to move this in and bring this one, check this one as well, select all 3 items, make it an auto layout, and I'm just going to make this center, and I'm also going to make the gap auto. Let's make the padding for the left and right 20, and let me make sure that our header section is centered on our frame, and this is what we have. Next, let's add a fill. So I'm just going to add a fill color. The fill color is going to be this background color. So I'm just going to copy this. Let me select the header, go to the fill, and I'm going to just paste the code for header section, make the opacity 60%, and finally for the text. So while I'm selected here, you see that the text is black, so I'll use this selection colors guide, and I'm going to copy the code for the text color and come to our header. I'm going to select the colors for just our text, and I'm going to change it to our text color, and our header is done. Let's create the other text area. I'm going to come here, and we have this heading text. The heading text is Cormorant. The heading is, the font is Cormorant Garamond. Weight is regular, size is 52, and the line height is 60. So once again, I'm going to grab a copy of this. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to use Ctrl Shift and V so that the text we're copying will take the attributes of the destination we're pasting it into. Next, I'm going to just show you this body text and the Body text is also Ibarra Real Nova. The weight is regular, size is 22, and the line height is 30. I'm just going to, let me see, I'll just copy this in, and what I'll do is go to body text and I'll just use Ctrl Alt C to copy the properties, Ctrl Alt V to paste the properties. So it's already the same thing, just to make sure. And I'm going to increase the, let's make the alignment. I'm going also going to do this for this one. I'm going to make this alignment, and let's increase it like this. And let me just bring it to the middle like this. So the width for my text should be, let me see, the width is 1146. I didn't really look into it. I just like this length like this, so you can use the same length if you want to. Finally, we have this call to action buttons. I'm just going to um, select them, and the buttons we're going to use the same um, dimensions as we use for this one, which is this buttons we used here. So I'm just going to grab this two. I'm going to create a copy, and I'm going to use, so our text we're using header and slash button. So Control Alt C, the once again Ibarra Real Nova is the text, weight is regular, size is 16, line height is 24. I just copied the properties instead of creating new ones. Control Alt V, and I've pasted the properties, and we have this because we're using it both for header and this header and buttons. So this first button, Shift A, we're going to use the same let's leave it like this. We're just going to leave the top and bottom padding as they are at 10, and Shift A for this one as well. Next, let's bring this in, this two, and we're going to make this to an auto layout. The gap is going to be 20, and let me move this like this. Now select all three items, make them an auto layout, and the gap is going to be 20. Next, let's also, we're still going to do the fill details. Next, let's add a fill. So once again, add a fill color. I'm going to select this, um, copy our background color once more. I'm going to copy the code for our background color. Come to our auto layout. I think something is wrong here. Let me change the height. Let me just make sure. And I'm going to change the attributes of this to the height to hog content. And I'm going to change the fill color to background color. We're going to make the opacity 60%. The padding for the left and right is going to be 40, and the padding for the top and bottom is going to be 20. And let me just move this here. So for these two texts, once again, we're going to use this text color. So I'm just going to copy the text color and change the fill to this. Same for this one. I'm also going to change the selection colors to this. For this final one, I'm going to, first of all, add the fill. The fill is going to be our text color. Then we're going to change the text color to our background color, which is 1E, 1E, 1E. And I'm going to change that. And this is what we have. And let me center this. I'm going to put this in the center. Now let's check the spacing from our header to the top of our frame is supposed to be 70. From the top of our frame to the top of our header is going to be 70, and the spacing between the header and this other text area is going to be 300. And now we can add in our images. So these are the images we're going to use in our project. The links for all these images will be in the description box below as well. So we're going to, let me reorder them in how we're going to use them in this project like this to make things, easier. I'm just going to move things around. Let me bring this here. Next, we're going to crop and then change some settings of these images. So I'm going to select all these images, and I'm going to make all their height is going to be the same thing. It's going to be their height and width is going to be the same. The height is going to be the same with our frame height, which is 810. And I'm just going to give this spacing of, it's not necessary, there's no, I'm just giving myself space to work with. Alright, let's start with this first image. So select the image, go to the fill, and let's crop the image, and we'll make the height 288. That's the width we are going for, and 288. Yeah, this is what we're going for. I'm going to move this image into the side, and what I'm going to do next is zoom in a bit. So I'm holding shift down, and I'm going to bring this image in, maybe bring it from the bottom as well, and just zoom in like this. Enter, and we have this. Next, for the saturation, bring it to the left, make it 0. Then I'm just going to move this, I'm going to reduce the exposure till here. I don't know if there's a specific number. I'm just going to, I may still move things around because I want all the images to look very similar. And I'm just going to close that, and we have this image. And next, I'm going to select this image as well, just like we did. I'm going to double click, and we'll crop this image, and we'll make the width 288. And I'm going to move him into the frame, and let's zoom in, and I'm going to move it from the top and maybe a little bit from the bottom, and I'm going to move it something like this. Enter to close that. Next, saturation, make it 0. For this, I'm going to, I don't know, just move things, make it kind of dark, close it. Same for this image, double click, crop, width is 288, like this. 288. Let me get closer. We just need one more. Yes. I'm going to move this image into the frame, this, and now zoom in a bit. Let me do a little bit from the bottom as well. Slightly. Yeah. And I'm going to move this out. We have this. I'm going to close that. Once again, reduce the saturation, and we're going to reduce the exposure as well. And let me see. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it like that. And we have our third image. Let's move on to this image. Same thing, double click, crop, reduce to 288. Next, move him into frame and increase, do from the top and bottom. So, just, yeah, like this. sorry, hold shift while doing this, and yeah, we have something like this. I'm just going to click enter, reduce the saturation once again. Let me zoom out so I can see the other images, and I'm going to reduce the exposure and try my best to match the same maybe fill, because each image is different in their lighting. And then finally double click, crop 288, just one more pixel. Yep. And we're going to once again move this like this, and let's crop this image and bring it in like this. Yeah, and I have something like this. Let me just increase it even a bit. Enter, and I'm going to once again reduce the saturation, and we're going to reduce the exposure as well and make it kind of dark. I'm going to just look at all the images, and I think um, this one looks a bit bright to me. Maybe it doesn't to you, but I'm just going to reduce it slightly. Alright, close the image. Now we have our 5 images. This one feels a little, let me just reduce this slightly. Alright, enter. Now we're going to make all these images components. So I'm going to use the shortcut Control Alt and K. You can use the buttons if you want, but I'll encourage you to use shortcuts Control Alt K to make all of them components. What I'm going to do next now is create variants. Let's start. Okay, let's go one by one. Create a variant for this image. What we're going to do now, double click the variant, double click the image so we can have our image back. Now return the properties of the image back to normal, so you have this. Then bring this image like this. I'm going to bring it from the top. Let me go to the bottom, and I'm going to resize this image so we can have as much as we can back in the frame. And this is what we have. Try to center the person as best as you can. Enter, and we are done with this image. For the second image, same thing. We're going to double click the variant, double click the image, bring up the dialog, and let me reduce the exposure back to normal, and saturation is also going to be normal as well. And I'm going to reduce this image like this. Yeah, and this is what we have. I don't think I need to move this image again. Close this, move on to the next image, create a variant, double click, and reduce the exposure, make the exposure what it was before, make everything like that. Now hold shift, reduce this image. I'm just going to bring this image in as much as possible, like that. And yeah, close this, move on to the next image, create a variant, double click, and I'm going to return the exposure and saturation back to normal, and hold shift down and return this, try and bring in as much as the image into frame. Okay, so we are on our final image, and I'm going to click on this, double click, and return the exposure back to normal and the saturation back to normal. And I'm going to hold shift down once again, This time I won't bring everything in. I just wanted to kind of, let me see, match. It won't, but I won't bring everything in like that. And yeah, and this is what we have for our images. Now let's go to prototype. So I'm going to click on prototype, connect this one to this other one, and we're going to make it while hovering. And the animation is going to be smart animate, curve is in and out, and the duration is 700 milliseconds. So next image, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to make this while hovering. The animation smart animate, curve is in and out, and every other thing stays the same. I'm going to zoom out, come to the next image, same thing, connect this to make the trigger while hovering. All other settings are the same. Next is going to be this image, and it's going to be while hovering as well, and we have all these other settings the same. Finally, we have this image, and it's going to be while hovering. And yeah, we have all our images. So before we add in our images, I'm just going to change the fill of our background to our background color, and I'm going to just grab a copy of all these images first, like this. I'm going to select all of them. I'm going to use align vertical centers, which is Alt V, and I'm going to align them, and I'm going to make the spacing 0. And I'm going to grab all of these, and I'm going to bring it into the frame. You can bring each one of them individually. It's going to be fine. I just want to do it like this. And I'm going to bring it like this. And now we have all of our images. I'm going to use the left square bracket to send all of them to the bottom of our frame. And this is what we have. So let's go to our prototype view and see what it looks like. And this is what we have. And we have our Fashion Studio hero section design. So you can go ahead, and I'll always encourage you to change things around. If you don't like how things are moving, you want to use different images, you want to use different sizes or shapes of the images, you can go ahead and do that. But with that said, we have come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.